What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Residual Earners Podcast, episode 6. We are excited to be here. We're excited to have you here. And let's get rolling with episode 6. Presley, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. What is episode 6? What are we going to talk about today, Jay Swag?
Today is 10 habits for a successful life. And I think it's such a big topic. And if you stay till the end, I think point number 10 drives it home. So don't leave early.
No. Do not leave early. And if you notice, we're veering just a little bit here. I mean, obviously, we focus on residual income of all kinds. We focus on residual income from network marketing, but we also want to talk about just success in life. And that's the direction we're going to kind of take today. Well, what's going on in your world? I mean, I know you've had a lot going on with the fam.
We've had a lot going on with the fam. The girls, Nikki and the kids, went to Scottsdale for the weekend over the long holiday. Grayson and I stayed around and did hockey, and he had a good tournament. And I think, maybe you can fill us in on Thursday. We had an awesome event at your house with a ton of people. Larry was here to talk. He was an awesome guy. I greatly enjoyed meeting him for the first time. Kind of tell us about Thursday night.
Well, yeah, we had a leadership event at my house, had 71 people show up, and a gentleman from North Carolina named Larry Raskin, who is an amazing trainer, came in and talked to us, and everybody just loved it. We went, oh my gosh, almost 2 hours of just gold nuggets floating everywhere. Backtracking a little bit, I'll say this about my favorite grandson. He's my only grandson, by the way, Grayson. That hockey tournament Jordan was talking about, they won the consolation bracket, and he, in the championship game, was player of the game. So, my gosh, I'm an excited granddad. How's that?
Definitely.
And then one other thing, my daughter, who sings country music with Royal South. I've got one of her Yetis here. She's in town, so we're getting to hang out with her. Jordan came over, and we've been hanging out and getting to see her and Glenn, and it's been a lot of fun.
Definitely. If you guys would, real quick, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, give us a comment, and really let's see how far we can grow this channel.
I'm in. Well, let's start talking about how to have a successful life. And we've got some great tips for you. We've got 10 of them, guys, and I think you're going to get something out of each of them. I know they have played a big part in our lives, and let's get to going. We're going to cover a lot of different areas here in a short period of time, but the first one is get on a good schedule. I think that is so key, to have a schedule going on with your life. And as we start talking about the other keys to a successful life, you're going to see where this really comes in and plays. But, with me, Jordo, and I know with you as well, I get up in the morning. I have my alarm set for 6. I'm usually up before it goes off. I'm excited about life. I think that's why I wake up. I'm not just trying to kill time laying in bed, because I know I've got a lot to accomplish. So I'm up at 6. I stumble to the Keurig and get my coffee. I'll say that. That's my first thing. Very important. But then I get to my desk and I have a quiet time. And that's where I read in the Bible for a little while. That's where I have my prayer time, and that's where I get a good book, and I try to read at least 10 pages out of a good book every day.
Yep.
And that gets my day started right. I just feel good about that, and we'll cover more about each of those things there. But then what I also say about being on a good schedule is, I think it is so key, the night before you go to bed, write out what you need to accomplish the next day. Because if we wake up and we've got a to-do list sitting in front of us, you're going to find out you get so much more accomplished than you do if you just wake up in the morning and let the wind start blowing you around.
Definitely.
I think one of my biggest keys to success is that daily to-do list.
Definitely. And it's called a morning routine, and it implements discipline into your life, which is huge, because if you can wake up and get on your schedule and be disciplined in what you're doing, it sets the rest of your day up for success. So, Larry had from Thursday night, it's nice listening to his morning routine. He's up at 5. He's committed to 2024 to be up at 5 a.m. every morning, get up, big coffee guy as well, get into his daily devotional, some prayer, meditation, and then gets to the gym. For me, I'm up at 6. I have a daily devotional. I meditate. I'm a cold plunger. Love to cold plunge. Highly recommend cold plunging and the
Jordan
benefits.
is tougher than I am. When you can get in a freezing tub of water outside, something's wrong with you. But anyway, go ahead.
But from there, I get the kids ready, get them to school, and then my wife and I go and work out at 8:30. But just having that every day doing the same thing. I know you talked about reading. My thing is when I'm in the car heading to the office or heading over here, I like to listen to a book. This morning, listen to a great book coming over on how to buy your time back. And now it's early in the morning and you've already knocked out so many things. You've already accomplished things while other people are just getting up groggy, just, not happy to get to work, whatever. We've already accomplished so much and we're just getting the day going, which
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah. I feel like, sometimes I'll look at my watch and I'll think, man, I've got a lot done. It must be 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I look and it's 11:30 or something. And that makes me feel good. But I look on my daily to-do list and I've usually scheduled a couple of appointments. So I'll meet somebody for breakfast or for lunch. I'll have a couple of phone calls. Like day before yesterday, I had 5 Zooms that I did with people. I just get on my list and I start marking them off. And man, it makes you feel good when you get a list and you start checking each thing off that you've accomplished. And then for me, I get so much more accomplished in the morning. So I don't usually work out in the morning, but about 2 or 3 o'clock, after I've sat there from 6 to 2 or 3 o'clock, I'm ready for a break. And that's when I'll run, put the gym shorts, tennis shoes, t-shirt on, and head to the gym and get my workout in. And it kind of reinvigorates me a little bit. I come back, take a shower, and then I'll do some more stuff.
Definitely.
But that's kind of what my daily routine is. Now, obviously, some days I'll have 2 or 3 in-person meetings. Some days I won't have any. Some days I'll have, like day before yesterday, I had 5 Zooms. Yesterday I only had 2. I mean, it varies, but I'm always working on what I need to accomplish that day. What are my goals for the year? What do I need to do that day to help reach those?
Definitely. And one thing I'll say about my morning routine that's been very beneficial, that in 2024, one of my goals was to read more books. And it's listening to, I'm on Audible, listening to these books in the morning on the way to getting my day going, and just where it puts your mindset for the day. It's locking in the things I want to accomplish for the day and giving me new ideas to get there. I think that's huge. But it really is, I said it a second ago, having that discipline to start your day off the right way every single day with this morning routine is just huge. And if you would, on YouTube right now, guys, what is your morning routine? Go in the comments section, comment, tell us your morning routine. We'll respond to every comment down there. I'd love to know, and I know Presley would too. What is your morning routine? Maybe we can learn something from you guys.
I'm always trying to learn.
Always.
Always. You know what I call your car? I call it your rolling university.
That's it.
Because if you'll be listening to good stuff when you're driving around, you'll be amazed how much you can learn. All right, we're gonna totally change directions here. I'm gonna give you the next one, number 2. So this is number 1 was get on a good schedule. Number 2 is eat a healthy diet. And I'm going to be as frank and honest with you guys as I can. I struggle with this one, and I'll go stretches where I'm eating pretty healthy, and then I just blow it. I mean, I'll just screw it up. But I'm telling you, eating healthy is a key, because our body really is what we put into it. And I know your eating habits are a big deal to you.
It's huge. And like anybody, like you just said, I'm really good for stretches, and then you do revert back. Nobody's perfect. I think the main thing, like my wife says, it's always in moderation, Jordan, because I'm a 0 to 100 kind of guy. So if I set my mind that I'm eating healthy, I'm eating healthy, and I'm cutting it off day one, and I'm moving that direction, and I am eating nothing but what I'm supposed to, and I can go a little too far. So it's be in moderation. If you like a good smash burger from a place, going and getting that once a month is not a problem. But going and getting it multiple times a week, well, we've got a problem here. But I watched something the other day that was, somebody was feeling down, not their usual self, and the person asked him a few questions. Have you been outside today? Have you talk to good friends? Have you done any type of meditation? How's your eating habits? And it goes back to just general health and mental health and clarity, eating healthy is so big for so many different things. And your productivity, positivity stems off of giving your body what it needs to operate at its highest level.
No, absolutely. I jotted down a couple of things that eating healthy does for us. One, it helps give us strong bones. It's good for heart health. It helps prevent disease, improves our mood, gut health. It's good for your memory, better sleep, and then obviously the common sense one. If you're eating healthier, it's good for weight loss. And see if you guys can relate to this. It'll be lunch. I'll have been eating healthy for a few days, and then for whatever reason, I just blow it and I go get me the cheeseburger. I eat that cheeseburger, and then the rest of the afternoon, I just feel slow and sluggish, and I just want to take a nap, and it's hard to get anything done.
Yep.
I think, guys, if you will really start watching what you're eating, and like Jordan said, we're not going to eat perfect. I get that. I'm certainly not. But overall, I try to eat much better than I used to.
Definitely. And I love the topic for today because all of this stuff ties in together. And I think everybody out there will agree. If you get up, get your lazy butt out of bed, stop hugging that nice warm pillow, jump into a cold plunge, if you will. You start making these decisions. And now, since I've gotten up, I've done my devotion, I've done my meditation, I've gotten the cold plunge, I've taken the kids to school, I have worked out with my wife. Now, my chances of eating healthier have gone way up because I've been dedicated doing all of these things. Now I'm really going to feel bad if I go out and blow it and go have, fried food for lunch. But if I sleep in, am lazy, not doing anything productive, it is so much easier to fall into that negative trajectory and just blow it with your eating too. That's why I like being disciplined, especially in the morning, because it helps your decision making as the day goes on. And it's a lot easier to eat healthy because you're doing all of these things that add up to success, and you're not going to blow it with just eating bad foods.
Tell me if this isn't correct, though. If you're showing discipline in one area of your life, it's easier to show discipline in the other areas
100%.
of your life. I really believe that, guys, because when I'm eating healthy, it's easier for me to do everything else that I should be doing in my life. If I'm eating a bunch of crap, it seems like it's easier for me to slide in the other areas of my life as well.
It can go one of two directions. And when you're doing everything right, it's easy to keep trending in that right direction. And when you're not putting the effort in and not dedicated and disciplined, it's so easy to just get off the rails, which is not where you want to be.
Not in my notes, but I'm going to say this anyway. Guys, discipline is doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. And here's the key, whether you feel like it or not. That's the key. All right, number 3. So we're on a good schedule. We're eating healthy. Next thing on my list is we need to exercise regularly. Now, I'm an exercise guy. I mean, and I hurt my back a few months ago. Since I've done that, I'm a stretching guy too. But I'm telling you guys, I get to the gym usually 5, sometimes 6 times a week. I get there, I'll stretch for about 20 minutes, just trying to keep my flexibility. Then I enjoy lifting weights, so I'll lift weights for 20 or 30 minutes. And then I usually try to end up on the treadmill and getting my heart rate up a little bit. There's a lot of days, guys, that I don't feel like going to the gym. But when I go in there and I get my workout over, when I'm walking out, I am pumped up that I went. I am so thankful that I made myself do it. Again, sometimes walking in the door is not what I want to do, but when I'm walking out, I'm happy I did it. And, I'm there for an hour, maybe just a little bit over. It's not like I'm spending half the day in the gym, but I feel so much better. It gets those endorphins going in your brain, and your mood improves. And I mean, it's just a good feeling. And I know you being a pro athlete, you can relate to all that.
Definitely. And, recently it's all about figuring out what works for you. And what my workout routine is not what your workout routine needs to be. So, we've gotten into F45, which is 45 minutes start to finish, and it's high intensity. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday is more of weight based. So I just like the the, the benefits to kind of doing a very well-rounded workout routine. But kind of like you were saying, leaving the gym, even if I don't want to go in the morning, you just feel great. Me, I got an accountability partner with Nikki, so she makes sure I'm there. But like I said, your routine doesn't need to be what ours is. Yours could be walking, doing a couple laps around the block, walking, just getting outside, getting the body moving, getting, I watch a lot of Andrew Huberman, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know. His one thing is getting outside in the morning, getting sunlight into your eyes and starting kind of your clock, to let your body know that it's daylight in the morning time. So get out and walk, it may be running, jogging, whatever it is. You just need your morning routine. It needs to be part of your routine, some part of your day, to just get outside and get your body moving.
Yeah. And Jordan's right. Your routine may be you've got some friends you just exercise with. That's great. Your routine may be you just get out and walk for 30 minutes. That's great. You may be into yoga. I actually went to a couple of yoga classes. I probably need to do it more now because of the stretching, because it is good for that. But whatever your routine is, the main thing, guys, is every day do at least 30 minutes of something that gets your heart rate up a little bit. I think that's key. And I got my list again. It improves sleep, reduces anxiety, reduces your blood pressure, reduces the risk of depression, reduces the risk of heart disease and stroke, reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes. I mean, guys, let's just get real. If we will eat fairly good, and if we will get some exercise most days, it's going to do nothing but help our health.
Definitely.
I mean, it just is.
And what you read, it should be enough for everybody. And obviously today's topic, 10 habits for a successful life. We want to live a long life. The last two topics of eat healthy, exercise regularly, what you read off should get everybody thinking, I need to get out there and do that.
And I'll throw this in and then we'll head to number 4. But some of you guys know that, my gosh, it's been about 8 months ago. I hurt my back. I pinched a nerve, and I would literally be walking and just my legs would quit working and I'd crumble to the ground. Never in my life had I had anything like that happen.
He's not embellishing. The legs would give out and he would be on the ground with no warning.
Yeah, no, that's I'm not embellishing. That was one of the toughest times of my life. Get this, guys. I went from lifting weights and playing tennis and all that stuff to literally using a walker for about 6 or 8 weeks. But my whole point with that, though, is we've got to take care of our health, because in a moment's notice that can change. And we want to live the healthiest life we can, because if you don't have your health, not much else matters.
Exactly.
Everything loses significance in your life. So needless to say, guys, let's try to eat as good as we can. We're not going to eat perfect, but eat as good as we can and get some exercise. All right. Number 4, dress for success. And I put that one on there, and understand, as I'm sitting here in shorts, I want you to understand, I don't mean you got to be wearing a suit all the time.
Yeah.
But at least look appropriate, look well put together. We're in Texas where it's warm most of the time. In the summer, it's hot. I'm in shorts a lot of the time, but I always try to look decent, because when you're out and about, you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
And developing your network is huge in success in life, guys. I'm telling you, you heard that it's not so much what you know, but who you know. That applies.
Yeah.
And if you're out and about and you're looking sharp, again, I'm not saying put a 3-piece suit on, but just looking sharp, good things are going to happen. And you only have one chance to make a first impression. So you always want to do that. Obviously I'm in the networking business, so I never know who I'm going to meet. Well, I don't want to look unkept and slobby and all that stuff, because if I meet a sharp person and I want to see if I can recruit them, I kind of got to look decent, and it crosses my mind. Some days I'll get up and I'll just throw on some gym shorts and tennis shoes, and then we're fixing to go eat. And I think, what if I meet somebody? So I'll run back in there and at least put some nice shorts and a golf shirt or something on. I just think dressing for success is key, Jordan.
Yeah. What's the old saying? It's don't dress for the job you have, but dress for the job you want.
That's it.
Always, know the next step, know where you're going, dress for that. And like you said, you never know who you're going to run into. And the last thing I want to do is look like a slob out there in sweats and a t-shirt, unshowered. So it's always about being well kept, looking good, and when you meet somebody, that your first impression is going to be a positive one.
Amen, guys. And when I say dress appropriately, just know what event you're going to and how everybody's going to be dressed.
Yeah.
If you're going to a black tie affair, you don't want to show up in a golf shirt. So just be cognizant of the event and how people are going to be dressing, and just try to look the part. And then on just a daily basis, just look well kept.
No.
I think that is the big key. But dress for success. Number 5. And Jordan and I are not financial planners, but I put this on there because I think it is key, and that is manage your money wisely. Now, we can probably one day we could just do a podcast on just that, but I'm going to give you just a couple of thoughts, and then we will talk for a minute on it. But I think you need to know where you stand financially. I think need to know that. List your financial goals. What financial goals do you have? Create a plan to reach your goals. I think we all need a budget, guys. You need a budget. One of the things when I started making money was I wanted to get out of debt. I think it is key that we get out of debt. I always tell people, you want to be on the right side of that interest equation. You want to be making the interest, not paying the interest. Track your spending. I think you'll surprise yourself, and you can address that. I think you've done that more than I have lately. But if you'll track your spending, you'll surprise yourself where you spend money. Have an emergency fund. I think we all need to have that. We all need to have put back enough that we can get by for a couple of months if something crazy happened in our life. And then, the last one I put on here, because I'm getting to that age, is save for retirement. But manage your money wisely.
Yeah. And back whenever I played with the Cardinals, this is just something you told me that stuck out to me right now is, we didn't have to, I'm not talking about assets here. I'm just talking about excess spending on stupid things. But, if something wasn't given to us, you could get a good deal on it, whatever it is. Like, we got that Olympic style ping pong table for nothing. But Presley told me one time, cause I get drafted, I'm with St. Louis, and, all these different people start offering you different things at cheap prices, and I'm a sucker and just getting everything, whether it's bows, ping pong tables, the ping pong robot, all these stupid things. And Presley said, son, you can go broke on good deals. And I'll never forget that. It's and like I said, I'm not talking about assets on going to buy rental houses, whatever it is, a good deal. Yeah, we need to take those up. But on other stuff that's not in the asset category, you can go broke on a good deal.
I've had to tell several people that, including my wife.
Yeah.
She always wants to tell me how much money she saved buying something, and I'm going, same thing. We can go broke on great deals. But guys, bottom line into sentence: get with a financial planner, get you a plan going. Because here's the thing: I don't want to have happen to you. You all of a sudden look up and you're 60, 65, 70 years old, and you don't know what you're going to do to get by. Because time passes quickly. And sometimes when we're younger, we think, oh my gosh, I got plenty of time. And then the next thing we know, we look up and we're 45 or 50 years old. And instead of a bunch of time, we just got a little bit of time. So I'm going to challenge everybody to manage your money wisely. Number 6, and this is for all areas of our life, and that is strive for excellence. I'm a believer that how you do one thing is how you're going to do everything. And if you are going to do your best at whatever it is, you're going to do your best at all areas of your life. So I think it is so key that we strive for excellence in every area of our life. And I know, especially as a pro athlete, you had to strive for excellence.
Yeah. I mean, where you want to get. It's always winning a World Series or winning the College World Series, whatever it is. But, you're looking at that on the walls of whatever complex you're at every single day, knowing this is the end goal, and now let's build the building blocks to get there. And every day you show up to the park, you're striving for that one goal, which is excellence at the end of the year.
I just remember when I got to walk through the Cardinals locker room with you that time, and on the wall was just World Series champion banner after
Yeah.
World Series champion banner after World Series champion banner, and that's excellence.
Yep.
And I mean, that's really what it is. Now, sometimes people will say, "Well, I do my best." Get this. I think this is something that's a little bit of an eye opener. By the way, this is my book, Be, Do, and Have More. And I'll say this, you can go to PresleySwaggerty.com and get that, or you can get Millionaire by Halftime. That's a network marketing book, how to do that. And understand, any profit I make off any of these is donated to charity. I don't make my money selling books, but if it'll help you, then there. But I love this. It says, excellence should be the standard we strive for in all we do. Let's consider what a commitment to 99.9% excellence would mean. Get this, 16,000 pieces of mail lost each hour, 20,000 drug prescriptions filled incorrectly each year, 50 newborn babies dropped at birth every day, and 500 surgical procedures performed incorrectly each week. Can you see why excellence is so important? Now, I know those are extreme examples, but I mean, it's so key, guys, that in everything we do, in our health, in our personal life, in our personal growth, in our relationships, in our spiritual walk, in every area of our life, we want to strive to be the best. I just think that is so key. All right, number 7, and I touched on this at the beginning, but I think that adhering to the golden rule, in other words, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Me being a Christian, I think number one, our biggest goal in life is to give our life to the Lord and know that we're going to heaven. I think that's the biggest thing we can do, because we will all meet him one day. But I think as we live in this world, if we will treat people the way we want to be treated. See, I'm a big believer in what goes around comes around. And if I treat people right, I feel like that most times people are going to treat me right. And that's just the way I believe my whole life.
Definitely. I'm trying to teach 3 little kids that same rule, especially Grayson. Grayson and Tatum need that, but Willa's got it.
Willa's got it. She's got it. Another thing, and showing just a practical application here, being in my position in networking, being the leader, of my team and a big leader in the company, I have people coming to me all the time asking for something, or if I'm at a meeting, they want me to talk to somebody for them, and I'm happy to. The thing that I think this is applicable is that I never look at somebody and say, well, are you on my team? I'm going to help anybody. I mean, I don't care if you're on my team or not on my team. If I can help you, I'm going to help you. And I believe that if I do that somewhere along the line, somebody's going to help me that person isn't on their team. But I just think, guys, that we've got to follow the golden rule, and we've got to treat people like we want to be treated in all aspects. I'm one of those guys that if I give you a handshake, it's as good as me signing a 20-page contract.
Yep.
I'm going to do everything I can to meet that commitment. I mean, that's just the way I was brought up, and I just think that's the way it should be. Number 8, and this one is near and dear to my heart, and if you've listened to a couple of our podcasts earlier, I've gone over this, but it's be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
Be a lifelong learner. And you were addressing that as far as listening to books.
Yeah, listening to books, getting to events, listening to people talk. There's so many ways to do it. And this is what springboards you to that next level of success, I feel like, because you're learn from people that are on the mountaintop you're trying to get to. That's the quickest way to get there. Learn the success tips they used, learn from their failures, and it springboards you to the next level of success.
Yeah. And something just came to mind when you said that, Jordo, and that is don't take advice from somebody that doesn't have what you want.
Yep.
I think a lot of times broke Uncle Harry steals a lot of people's dreams, and broke Uncle Harry doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. I learned a long time ago, if the person I'm talking to has what I want, then I should listen to them.
Yep.
If the person I'm talking to doesn't have what I want, I'm wasting my time listening to them as far as in that realm. I'm not
Correct.
saying we don't talk to somebody, but I don't take advice from somebody that doesn't have what I want in that area. Um, as far as being a personal growth, guys, I'm huge on that. I think my success has come because I've grown. My cousin Manny told me that Presley, if you want more, you got to become more. He said you don't chase success, you attract success by the person you become. When I was in college, and for you young folks listening to this podcast, learn the lesson here that I was on the Just Get Me Out of Here program in school. I learned a little bit there at UTA, but I could have learned so much more. But a few years ago, actually probably 30 years ago now, I had a change of heart, and I decided that, I'm a lifelong learner. And kind of like you, Jordo, if I'm driving, I'm usually listening to a book. If I'm around the house, especially in the mornings, I try to read out of a good book. Guys, if you will read, you will learn so much more, and we will gain so much knowledge, because your circumstances are because of your actions, and your actions are because of your thoughts. And the way we change our thoughts is by reading and getting that good stuff. And I loved it when we should have had Larry come down here and do a podcast.
Larry will be on the podcast.
Yeah, Larry will be on the podcast. We should have got him down here. We just, it was a screw up on our part. But anyway, I just remember the other day you saying, man, he had a lot of good stuff to say. And, I think that kind of blew you away with how knowledgeable he was.
No. And the one thing, one of the things that has really stuck with me from listening to him on Thursday night was, we all try to read books and do that. But, he said, don't just read the book. He said, you know the content. It's everybody, you feel like you accomplish something because you sit there and read a book. But if your mind is not present, if it's somewhere else, you're not really comprehending what you're reading. You're not really, you're getting 15% of what you could be getting. So it's really know the content, focus in on it. And, if focusing in for you is just reading 5 to 10 pages and actually comprehending and knowing everything you read, then do that. If you can do more, do more. But it's know and comprehend what you're reading.
I can relate to that so well, because sometimes I'll read 2 or 3 pages and I'll sit there and I'll sit up and I'll think, what did I just read?
Yep.
And I mean, sometimes I know what I read, and other times I'm going, I don't have a clue what I just read, and I have to go back and read it again. Larry said something Thursday night that really hit home to me, and this doesn't really fit this point, but I'm going to throw it in here. He said that the success you're looking for is hiding behind the work you're avoiding.
Yep, I remember that.
And that one line just stuck with me. The success you're looking for is hiding behind the work you're avoiding. And I thought, wow, I mean, is that sharp? But anyway, back to being. Go ahead.
The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
That's it.
I took a note of that.
Read that again to folks, man. I love that. Guys, pay attention to this, because this is sweet.
The magic that you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding.
Yeah. That is spot on. I need to write it down so I get it right. But anyway, as far as being a lifelong learner, read books, watch YouTube of personal growth giants, guys, the Zig Ziglars, the Les Browns, the Stephen Coveys, the Jim Rohns, the Tony Robbins. I mean, I could just go down the list. But, and then the third thing, and I've covered this in other podcasts, but run with winners, guys. Be careful who you spend your time with.
Definitely.
Because Jim Rohn always said that you show me the 5 people you spend the most of your time with, and I'm going to show you that you're going to be the average of those 5 in every area of your life, financial and spiritual and health and all of them. So it is so key to do that.
And then one more thing, guys.
Sure.
If you don't mind, go in the comments section and let us know what books you're reading right now and what you're doing to become a lifelong learner. Because obviously we're always looking for new ways to learn. We always are looking for a good book. So go down in the comments and put exactly what you're doing right now to become a lifelong learner, and what you're doing for personal growth.
I need to take a speed reading course, Jordo, because my stack of books that I'm wanting to read is getting taller instead of getting shorter. I'm reading books, and somebody will say, hey, you need to read this one, so I'll get it. And then somebody else will say, hey, you need to read this one. So I'll get it. And it's like my stack just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm getting behind.
Got to read faster.
I got to read faster. Maybe, what is it, an Evelyn Wood speed reading course or something? Seems like I remember. All right, number 9. Now you're going to say this one is a little bit out of place, but I'm gonna disagree with you and say it's not. And number 9 on my list is show up on time.
And if you're not early, you're late.
I have just been a big stickler about that. When I'm going somewhere, if I'm supposed to be there at 5:30, I try to get there at 5. Because here's the deal. Like yesterday, I was going to do a meeting. I left early, like I always do. Well, there was a wreck on the highway. Well, I got there on time, but I was planning on getting there early. And if I would have left at just enough time to get there, I would have been late. I mean, I would have missed part of it. I always try to leave early because I think it is so key to be on time, because I think if and we all know these people, they show up habitually late.
Yep.
And it's almost like they're proud of showing up late.
Yep.
Well, what that tells me is they think their time is so much more important than the other person or the group's time.
Correct.
So I'm just a big believer in that it sets a bad tone if you walk in late to meet somebody, or late to a meeting, or late. I mean, I'm just telling you guys, I am so into being on time. What I'll do is, okay, I'm going to get there 30 minutes early. Well, I may have a book with me, or I may make a couple of phone calls while I'm sitting there waiting.
Yep.
But I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, there was a wreck, or there's road construction, or something happens. It's just key.
Definitely. And especially with first impressions, showing up late is never an option.
No.
That'll, with just interviews and things I've had in the past with people, if they show up late, I'm not even considering hiring you. You got to be early, because it says so much about you if you're early or if you're late.
Well, yeah, especially when you're hiring people. I mean, if they're going to show up late to their first meeting with me, then chances are they're going to be showing up late to everything
Every
they do.
day.
Yeah. And I'm not going to tolerate that. My basketball team, when I was coaching, I mean, I would say be at the gym at 4:00. Well, my guys knew that didn't mean walking through the door at 4:00. My guys knew that meant you are there, ready, dressed on the basketball court, ready to go before 4:00. And I just think that was such an important issue to me. And I felt like I taught people a little discipline that way.
Definitely.
Well, number 10, and then we will regroup and go back over them one more time. I mean, not really talk about them, but I'll list them again. Number 10 is don't be afraid to ask.
And I think this is huge.
I mean, my gosh, from the first girl you wanted to date, if you didn't ask, you weren't going out on that date.
Exactly.
So, guys, I think so many times people leave deals on the table, they leave money on the table, they leave partners on the table. I think they leave so many things on the table because they're just scared to ask.
They don't want to get out of their comfort zone.
That's it. And think this through. And I mean, we all know this, but it's almost comical when you think about it. If I ask and they say no, am I any worse off than I was before I started?
Nope.
No. But if I ask and they say yes, it could be game-changing, business-changing, life-changing. It could be or maybe it's just a little change, but I'm much better off then. But if I don't have the courage to just even ask for it, I don't have a chance to get it.
Exactly. And like you were saying earlier, your circle that you're comfortable in, it may be small, but take a small step out of that, live there for a bit, take another small step out, and before you know it, what you're comfortable with has gotten a whole lot bigger.
Well, yeah, and it is. I'll give you an application where I've seen this happen so many times in networking. I will see somebody they're in at a hotel, they're out in the coffee shop area, and they're showing a presentation for their networking group. And I'll listen from a distance. They're talking loud enough I can hear, and they will do an amazing presentation. Amazing, very good presentation. But then they get to the end and they won't ask for that person. Do you want to join us? Do you want to buy some of my products or services? They won't ask anything. They'll just say, well, thanks for coming. And I'm thinking, say something, even if it's the wrong thing. Say something, ask something. It just boggles my mind sometimes that I guess people are avoiding conflict so much
Yeah.
that they don't even want to say, hey, let's get you started, or hey, how do you want those checks to come, or just say something to see if you can get the sale. I mean, it is so key, and I watch it over and over again where people won't ask that. So I've got now where if somebody brings somebody up to me after a meeting, the first thing I'll do is I'll look at, hey, great to meet you. Hey, are you going to join us? Because I don't know if that person's asked them that or not. I think you got to ask, Jordan.
Definitely. No, it's such a good way to get people going if you're asking the question. But whether it's networking, any other business out there, if you're in the customer acquisition business, whether it's insurance, car sales, network marketing, you have to figure out what you need to close a deal.
Yeah.
And the lucky thing for everybody out there is it's pretty consistent. And once you figure out whatever line of work you're in, once you figure it out, you reuse it. And over time, you just get it better and better and better, and really hone that in. But it's pretty consistent. You're not having to come up with something new every time.
No. And I can remember I met Jeannie on a blind date. Joyce Farrell from Lakeview was in the counselor's office, and her husband Joe was one of the coaches. I knew him real well, and she kept saying, hey, you need to call Jeannie. She's amazing. You need to call Jeannie. And I put her off and put her off and put her off, and finally I just said, oh, forget it, I'm gonna get her off my back. So I called Jeannie and asked her to go out on a date. We went to Chili's. Well, 39 years later, I'm still with Jeannie, and it all goes back to that, me having the courage to ask her to go out to Chili's with me, and I'm sure you wouldn't be with Nikki if you hadn't asked her to do something. I mean, you got to get it going, and whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, whether it's at a bank, whether it's networking, whatever it is, you got to get in the habit of asking.
Definitely. Well, take them back over our 10 points for 10 habits for a successful life.
All right, guys, here we go. 10 habits for a successful life. Number 1, get on a good schedule. I think that is key. Get you a to-do list the night before and have it on your desk or your nightstand or wherever you keep stuff. And when you wake up in the morning, be ready to run. Number 2, eat a healthy diet. And understand, Jordan and I are not sitting here saying that we eat perfect. We do not. But I'll say this, more meals than not, I eat good. Now, every once in a while, I just get that urge and I don't eat good. But I would say 80-90% of the time, I eat a healthy meal. Exercise regularly. I can't put more importance on that, guys. We got to get our heart rate up. We gotta do something physically to make sure that we've got our health, because the one thing I learned, especially after hurting my back, don't take your health for granted. Number 4, dress for success. And again, as I said, that doesn't mean put a suit on every day, but look sharp, look tidy, look neat, and dress appropriately for whatever event you're at. Number 5, manage your money wisely. That is so key, guys. As Jordan pointed out, I did tell him that you can go broke with good deals. So be careful on that one. Number 6, strive for excellence. I think that applies to every area of our life. We should strive for excellence in our relationship with the Lord. We should strive for excellence in our relationship with our spouse. We should strive for excellence in the relationship with our kids, our grandkids, our friends, business, networking, whatever it is. We should strive for excellence. Number 7, pray, read the Bible, and honor the golden rule. I think that is, that is the ultimate right there, guys. Number 8, become a lifelong learner. You guys that have been around on the podcast or happen to know me, that is, I attribute my success to being a lifelong learner. Number 9, show up on time. It's kind of like a little thing, but I'm telling you, it has big implications in your life. And then number 10, don't be afraid to ask. No matter what area of your life it is, if you want to ask something, ask. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no, and you're going to be in the same place you are now. But if you ask and they say yes, it could be a game changer, just like my 39 years with my bride.
And there you go. No, I think this is such a good podcast, such a good topic. You know, you only get one shot at life, so you might as well do it right.
Amen. This is not a dress rehearsal, believe it or
Not a
not.
dress
We
rehearsal.
don't get do-overs. This is the one and only. And guys, don't wait. Get started now with whatever your dream is. Let's start chasing those dreams. Let's make good things happen. Let's use these 10 habits to have that successful life. Obviously, there's more, guys. I'm not saying this is an exhaustive list, but it's a good start. I'll put it that way.
Definitely. No, we thank everybody for joining us today. As always, if you're on YouTube, comment down below, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody being here, everybody listening, looking at the analytics and seeing, the followers going up. It's such a cool experience for us to see everybody. We want to talk to you. That's why we say comment. We'll respond to everybody. This has been awesome getting this podcast up and going.
Yeah. And by the way, in the comments, if there's a topic that you would like for us to cover, throw it down there.
Definitely.
I mean, we're happy to cover. We want to add value to your life. We want to give you something you're looking for. So if there's something you want us to talk about, we'll jump on it.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining in, and we appreciate you more than you know.
God bless you guys. See you next time.
See you next time.